I'm Sean, Noob of All Trades from 2 Generations Gaming, and in this video I will be going through my great, good, and decent picks from May of 2025. I know we're already into June here, and I will get to the June comics at the end of the month, but May was crazy. I had 2 graduations, my son's and the school that I work at, 2 awards nights, and a variety of other things. So we went out to dinner for graduation, and I went to a rugby match. It was supposed to be my anniversary. Well, it was my anniversary, and we were supposed to go out. I ended up going out with a friend to rugby instead of my wife this year. But the end of May was crazy, so I didn't get around to the books then. As I did last time, I'm going to pick 3 books for great. Well, 4 technically. 3 books, 4 issues, whatever. 3 for good and 3 for decent. I'll go through what I liked about them as far as the story goes, as far as the art goes, and overall. You know that I like to be more positive around here, so I won't really go about the things that I don't like, but rather I'll talk more about what I think could have been done to make them great or make them good if they're not great or good. If you want to see all of my choices for great, good, and decent, just go to the webpage, www.2guysgaming.net, and I will have a little gallery for you showing you what I picked as great, what I picked as good, and what I picked as decent. But no opinions there. You're just going to have to engage with the page if you want to know. Okay, I've talked enough. Let's get to the books. I guess I'll start with the great for those of you who are impatient and don't want to watch the whole video. And then if you want to, you can stick around for the good and the decent later on. See if you agree or disagree with any of my choices. As far as great, Amazing Spider-Man is finally back in the great after having been taken out of the pile completely for the end of Zeb Wells' run there. They got Joe Kelly on there, which he seemed to have righted the ship finally, and these first 2 issues of the latest reboot show that. It's a proper introduction of Peter, May, and some of his compatriots. An encounter with Rhino leads to quote-unquote something behind the scenes that sets up some of the characters and plot for the story. Number 1 also fills in some of the gaps with too many stories at the end. As far as the art goes, Larraz's style works so well with Spidey. He gives the book a playful style that adds to the overall tone without taking it too far. I grew to like JRJR's art, but it never felt right for the book. Too quote-unquote gritty, in my own opinion. Overall, I know I'm grading on a curve here after the utter abomination of the Zeb Wells run, but I'm just glad to have my boy Spidey back. Sure, they still refuse to give us MJ, but I'll take what I can get at this point, and hope MJ gets introduced later on in the book. Number 2, great, Ultimate Black Panther. Number 15. I never got into the Ta-Nehisi Coates run of Black Panther. I enjoyed his Captain America, but other than a few issues, much of his Black Panther went over my head, I think. Nothing wrong with that. In spite of all that, this version of Black Panther resonates more with me as a story and a character. Make of that what you will. I think it just reminds me of the Black Panther from my youth. And as I always say, it doesn't have to be for me. That version of Black Panther probably just wasn't for me. Art. The art is simple, especially for an Ultimate title. However, it is clean and effective in telling the story. I'm sure that since I'm not an artist, I'm missing some technical aspects. To quote Marge Simpson, I just think it's neat. Overall, it's a great story that hooked me and keeps me coming back for more. Passable art that doesn't detract from that story. Honestly, that's all I ask for my comics. Everything else on top is just gravy. Not that I don't like gravy, but I think you get the point. And the final great book, The Scorched 39. The story, with Jessica facing the after effects of recent events, parenthetically at the bottom of a bottle, and parenthetical, the team frays at the edges, and then completely tears apart. Now the story becomes, can they come back together? Or are they damned to remain separate and eventually enemies? Art. I think I said previously that it's obvious that Segovia studied at the altar of Uncle Todd. While his style is probably the least polished of the team, he still brings some awesome art that makes me slow down with reading just to enjoy the pictures. Overall, nobody I'd rather have writing this Scorched story than Layman. He definitely tells these types of stories. You need action? Call Layman. You need drama? Call Layman. You need dysfunction? You get my point. Call Layman. And now for the good books. Phoenix number 10. Story. Huge multiverse spanning. Phoenix fights Thanos and defeats him. She then cocoons and comes back even more powerful. However, she must now face some of the decisions that she made in order to defeat Thanos. Spoiler alert, with that wrapped up, on to the next adventure, perhaps patching things up with family. Art. The art is a little too simple and linear for me. It's less noticeable during action scenes, of which there are plenty, but during the more dramatic pages, it did get distracting. Overall, this one hovers just below great. Initially, I wondered about this title. I like the more street level titles like Ankini, Exceptional, and Nyx, but this one grew on me, and now I think I'm hooked. You might see this one in great coming up next month, or in a couple of months. King Spawn number 11. In the story, Spawn protects a child with the help of Terry and Tinker. They seem partly to help out of duress, because they're on board that it's a kid, but neither particularly cares for Spawn. At the end, Spawn promises an end soon to the child's suffering. Art. Another beautifully illustrated Taki. I never knew Shina before this book, but I have become a fan of his art. While Uncle Todd influenced, he gives the book his own flair that I appreciate. Overall, an engaging story beautifully illustrated. I prefer more action, but they sometimes need an issue or two to set things up. Uncle Todd especially really likes these issues lately. X-Force number 10 with Chiz Legacy number 300. Forge and his team continue to fight against an existential threat. The X-Men help. After a brutal battle, made more so by Forge and some of his questionable decisions, they triumph. Or do they? A cliffhanger, true to the team. Art. The weird hybrid that looks almost anime style, not bad, but not what I'm looking for in my comics. That said, I'm fine with it. It's whatever. Overall, like Phoenix, X-Force took some time to get me on board. But I like what they're doing with the book now. It's different enough from the other X titles to make it interesting and entertaining for me. And finally, for the decent titles, Sam and Twitch number 12. Twitch's life is falling apart. Maybe it already fell apart from the looks of it. In between supporting his partner, Sam tries to continue to work. And as ever, the weirdness of the main title bleeds through the gritty realism, especially towards the end of the book there. Art. Not your typical Uncle Todd art for not your typical Uncle Todd book. It tries, but I'd rather they go with Sam Keith or Jason Sean Alexander to give it even more of its own look and personality. Like, this book tries to be different from the other Spawniverse books. I wish they would just give it that kind of weird, dreamy quality that Keith or Alexander have. I know Chris hated his art, but I really liked his art for that whole run that he did with Dark Horror, I think it was called. Anyway, I digress. Overall, it tries to do something different. I give Uncle Todd credit, but this just isn't his strength. I love the setup and even some of the execution. But if he worked with a different creative team, I feel like it could be so much better than it is. The Ultimates number 11. The ultimate version of the quote-unquote Avengers, I guess, follows the original story some. Tony's still in charge, and some of the principles are there. This particular issue deals with the Asgardians for most of the issue. Then there's a bit of a twist at the end. The art is good. It's flashy. The book is a bit of a talkie, so they don't get to stretch their wings much. But it's still a pretty book. I understood the original Ultimate line. They tried something new. Then it went way off the rails. I actually got banned from the Marvel Facebook page, I think it was, or the Disney Facebook page, for making fun of the original Marvel line. The original Ultimate line, rather. This time, it seems like they're just trying to push the multiverse. And, in my opinion, it's simply not working. Speaking of the Ultimate line, Ultimate X-Men 14 is our last book that I'm going to cover. It's another decent one. Its traditional X-Men themes of isolation, human connection, governmental control and corruption, societal response to the different, and identity. It adds some Japanese themes to all of that. If that's your thing, enjoy. I feel like I need to do some homework. I was talking to Aiden about the book, and I said how it really wasn't connecting with me. He said initially he wasn't sure what to think about it either, but he read some of the older books, so maybe I have to go back and read the older books and kind of get caught up and see if it connects more with me. The art is, it's Peach Momoko, so you know what you're getting. You either love it or you hate it, I think. I don't hate it, it's just I'm not a huge fan of it. It's, in places it's like, it's like, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's Peach Momoko. You either like it or you don't. I'm not a fan. Not that I hate it, it's just that I can't get into it. Never could. Even when they had the Peach Momoko takeovers on Marvel Snap, I Nope, didn't care for it. Anyway, overall, I heard the buzz about this title initially, so I tried it out. I think I'm going to stick with Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimate Black Panther for now. Maybe the Ultimates, it seems like it's gearing up a little bit for something cool. As we say around here, it's not bad. It's just not for me. So those are my great, good, and decent picks for the YouTube this time around. Again, you can go to the website, www.twoguysgaming.com, for a gallery of all the books that I picked for great, good, and decent this month. You can also check me out on TikTok. I've been pretty active on TikTok and building a little bit of a following, it seems. I am NoobDad76 there. I have more or less ignored Instagram for TikTok this time around, just because I wasn't finding as much success on Instagram. I might try again over the summer, we'll see. Also thinking about doing some Twitch streams over the summer, but again, we'll see if that actually works out. If it does, you'll hear about it. I hope to get the latest issue of Noob's Book Club for the next Happy War series book. I want to do that either tonight or maybe tomorrow. Again, we'll see how things shake out. I will see you again next week on the YouTubes. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.